Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that no one is coming to save you? That the rescue you've been waiting for, the opportunity you've been hoping would land in your lap, will never arrive unless you take it yourself. Every second you wait is a second wasted. Every excuse is a choice to stay stuck. But here's the truth: the moment you decide to show up for yourself, to take control of your life and your destiny, everything changes. Today, I'm going to show you why waiting is the greatest trap of all, and how the only person who can save you is you. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine for a moment that the world owes you something. That somehow, if you wait long enough, someone will arrive and rescue you from the challenges you face. Now, let me be brutally honest. No one is coming to save you. That's not pessimism, that's clarity. The moment you internalize this truth is the moment you begin to reclaim your power. Waiting for someone else to solve your problems, waiting for luck or timing, waiting for circumstances to align. You're forfeiting the one thing that will always be within your control, your own action. Too often, people fall into the trap of dependency. They hope that recognition, opportunity, or change will find them, as if the universe has a customer service line that will answer their call. But the harsh reality is that life does not operate on your schedule. Life rewards those who show up consistently, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one is watching. The critical question is this: will you be one of those people? Will you take ownership of your circumstances, or will you wait for a savior who doesn't exist? Showing up for yourself isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily commitment to stand in your own corner and fight for your vision. It's choosing persistence over procrastination, courage over comfort, and action over inaction. It's showing up when your body is tired, when your mind doubts you, when the world seems indifferent, and saying, "I will not wait for permission. I will not wait for validation. I will take the first step, and then the next, and then the next." Consider this: every person you admire, every leader, entrepreneur, or innovator you respect, they reached that point not because someone rescued them, but because they refused to wait. They recognized the uncomfortable truth. If they wanted change, they had to be the catalyst themselves. And here's the thing: action is contagious. When you show up for yourself, when you hold yourself accountable, you send a signal to the world and to your own future self that you are serious about growth. You ignite momentum that no one else can create for you. We are conditioned to believe that it's okay to wait, that patience will yield results without effort. But patience without action is just another word for resignation. Waiting for external factors is a recipe for stagnation, for disappointment, for regret. The people who achieve extraordinary outcomes are not the ones who waited, they are the ones who acted. They didn't wait for the perfect moment, they created it. They didn't wait for someone to rescue them, they rescued themselves. Showing up for yourself also means embracing accountability for your failures. You will stumble, you will falter, and you will face moments where quitting seems easier. But these moments are not signals to give up. They are proof that you are moving, proof that you are alive in pursuit of something meaningful. No one else can bear your failures for you. No one else can cultivate your resilience, your discipline, your strength. That responsibility rests squarely on your shoulders, and that is precisely why it is so empowering. So, every morning, before you look for external validation or support, ask yourself, am I showing up for myself? Am I taking the steps that only I can take? Because the truth is, no one else will do it for you. Success, growth, and fulfillment are not delivered, they are built, moment by moment, decision by decision, action by action. And when you consistently show up for yourself, you begin to realize something profound. You are not waiting for rescue, you are creating it. You have everything you need to start. The power is in your hands, the choice is yours. The question is simple: will you step into your own life and show up fully, unapologetically, every single day? And when you step into that space of showing up for yourself, something remarkable happens. You stop seeking permission from the world and start granting it to yourself. You stop waiting for conditions to be perfect and start creating conditions that allow you to grow, even in the face of adversity. The truth is, the world is indifferent to your struggles. Life doesn't pause to accommodate your fears, your doubts, or your hesitation. But here's the beauty of that reality. The indifference of the world is actually liberating because it forces you to recognize that your potential is entirely in your own hands. No one else's opinion, approval, or intervention can change that. Every single day presents a choice. Will you shrink, hoping someone notices your struggle and offers a hand? Or will you stand tall, recognizing that your own courage and consistency are the only things that will carry you forward? Most people choose the first option, waiting, hesitating, hoping. They wait for circumstances to align, for someone to motivate them, for life to make it easier. And that is exactly why most people remain stuck. The people who transform their lives, the ones you admire, don't wait for anything. They understand that waiting is the enemy of progress, and progress is only built through action. Showing up for yourself also means understanding the value of small, consistent steps. You don't need a grand gesture or a monumental shift to change your life. You need the discipline to show up when it's uncomfortable, to take the next step when the path is unclear, and to persist when everyone else has given up. It's the accumulation of these moments that builds momentum. One day, those small steps compound into remarkable progress. One day, you look back and realize that you've built something that no one else could have built for you because you refused to wait for a rescue that was never coming. The journey of showing up for yourself requires honesty. You have to confront the excuses, the stories, and the justifications that keep you in a state of waiting. I'm not ready yet. I don't have enough support. The timing isn't right. These are lies we tell ourselves to avoid discomfort. The moment you see these excuses for what they are, you free yourself, you reclaim control. You begin to understand that readiness is a myth, support is optional, and timing is created, not waited for. Showing up for yourself means moving forward even when you feel unprepared, even when you doubt your abilities, because courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in spite of it. It also means embracing responsibility for your own happiness and fulfillment. You cannot rely on others to provide meaning in your life, to solve your problems, or to validate your worth. That responsibility is yours, and it is powerful. When you stop waiting for someone to fix your circumstances, you stop giving away your power. You begin to operate from a place of autonomy and self-trust, which is the foundation for any lasting success. The more you show up for yourself, the stronger this foundation becomes, and the more unstoppable you feel. You will face resistance, internal and external. The world will challenge you, people will doubt you, and your own mind will question whether you're capable. But resistance is not a signal to stop. It is a signal that you are doing something significant. Every challenge, every obstacle, every setback is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you can rise above. Showing up for yourself doesn't guarantee comfort or ease, but it guarantees growth, resilience, and a life that you can look back on with pride. And finally, showing up for yourself means understanding that your life is your responsibility and your gift. Waiting for someone to save you is a form of surrender. Showing up for yourself is a declaration. I am willing to do the work. I am willing to face the discomfort. I am willing to own my life and create the future I want. It's a mindset, a daily practice, and a commitment to action. Because the truth is, the only person who will ever be fully invested in your success is you. The only person who will fight for your dreams when no one else does is you. So stand up, take the first step. Commit to showing up, not tomorrow, not when it's convenient, not when it feels easy, but right now in this moment with everything you have. Trust in your ability to navigate the uncertainty, embrace the struggle, and build the life that is waiting for you on the other side of your action. The world may not come to save you, but when you show up for yourself, you become your own savior, and that is a power no one can take away. The more consistently you do this, the more you realize that showing up for yourself is not just an action, it's a way of living. It's a commitment to personal accountability, to resilience, and to self-belief. And every time you honor that commitment, you reinforce the truth that your destiny is in your hands. You are not waiting for someone else to rescue you. You are showing up step by step, moment by moment, creating the life you were meant to live. And as you continue to show up for yourself, something extraordinary begins to happen. You start to understand the true power of your own agency. You realize that the circumstances you face, no matter how challenging, unfair, or daunting, cannot stop you unless you allow them to. The people who achieve remarkable success are not immune to struggle, but they refuse to let struggle dictate the terms of their lives. They don't wait for a signal from the world to act. They move forward because they understand that their potential, their growth, and their fulfillment are entirely in their own hands. Showing up for yourself is not a one-time act of courage. It is a continuous practice of resilience and self-discipline. Every day, the world presents new distractions, new excuses, new reasons to delay or give up. It whispers, "Not now. Wait for someone else. This isn't for you." And every day, the choice is yours to listen to that voice or to rise above it. Each time you choose to rise, you strengthen your capacity for endurance. Each time you act when it is hard, you build confidence not from external praise, but from an internal knowing. I can handle more than I thought. I am capable of more than I believed. Think about the moments in your life where you felt powerless, where circumstances seemed insurmountable. Now, imagine if you had waited for someone else to intervene, if you had hoped for rescue instead of acting. Where would you be? Most likely, you would still be stuck, still waiting. But by choosing to show up for yourself, even when it was difficult, you can transform those moments into turning points. Action creates momentum, and momentum transforms lives. It doesn't matter how small the steps are, as long as they are consistent, as long as you keep moving forward. And this is where self-trust becomes critical. Showing up for yourself requires faith in your own judgment, in your own instincts, and in your own ability to navigate uncertainty. You will make mistakes, you will stumble, but those moments are not evidence of failure. They are evidence of engagement. They are evidence that you are taking responsibility for your life, rather than waiting for someone else to fix it. The more you trust yourself to handle the challenges that arise, the more empowered you feel. The more empowered you feel, the more you are able to take decisive, intentional action. And action is the only antidote to helplessness. Showing up for yourself also teaches you the value of your own time and energy. Too often, people give away their power by waiting for others to show up, by prioritizing other people's expectations over their own dreams, or by postponing their lives until conditions feel right. The harsh truth is that perfect conditions rarely exist. The people who change the world do so by starting where they are, with what they have, and by committing to take the next best step every single day. They understand that time is the most precious resource, and that every day spent waiting is a day surrendered to someone else's priorities. When you consistently show up for yourself, you also inspire those around you, whether you realize it or not. People notice commitment, persistence, and courage. By refusing to wait for rescue, by taking ownership of your life, you create a ripple effect that can encourage others to act, to stop waiting, and to take responsibility for their own futures. Leadership at its core begins with personal accountability. When you lead yourself first, you become an example of what is possible when someone decides to stop relying on others and start relying on themselves. The path of showing up for yourself is rarely easy, and it is never comfortable. You will encounter doubt, fear, and criticism, both from within and from the outside world. But each challenge is an opportunity to reinforce your commitment. Each obstacle you overcome builds resilience. Each moment of self-discipline strengthens the habit of action. Over time, showing up for yourself becomes second nature. You no longer wait for approval, for opportunity, or for someone to save you. You act because you know that action is the vehicle for change, growth, and fulfillment. And in this journey, you begin to redefine what success means. Success is no longer measured by external validation or by the approval of others. It is measured by the depth of your commitment to yourself, by the courage you show in the face of uncertainty, by the consistency with which you choose action over inaction. You start to see that your life is a reflection of the choices you make and the energy you invest. The more you invest in showing up for yourself, the more your life transforms in ways that no one else can orchestrate for you. Every day you have a choice. You can wait for someone else, hope for circumstances to change, or you can step forward, take ownership, and show up for yourself. The difference between a life of waiting and a life of fulfillment is entirely in that decision. And the remarkable truth is this: the moment you commit to showing up for yourself, the world doesn't rescue you, but it begins to respond to your action. Opportunities appear, doors open, and momentum grows. You realize that the greatest power you have is not in waiting for rescue. It is in showing up consistently, courageously, and intentionally for the person you are becoming. So take that step, make that choice, and embrace the responsibility that comes with owning your life. Show up for yourself and watch as the impossible becomes possible, not because someone saves you, but because you refuse to wait for anyone else to do it for you. And as you continue to show up for yourself, you begin to notice a profound shift in the way you approach life. The hesitations, the fears, the constant questions of what if begin to lose their grip because you are no longer waiting for permission or validation from the outside world. You realize that the only validation you truly need is the one you give yourself, and the only permission required to act is the one you grant to yourself. That shift is liberating. It frees you from the paralysis of expectation and opens the door to consistent, deliberate action. Showing up for yourself requires embracing discomfort. Growth is rarely comfortable, and transformation is almost never easy. The people who wait for life to be convenient often find themselves stuck in mediocrity, watching others achieve what they themselves have the ability to reach. The moment you embrace discomfort, however, you step into a space of power. You begin to understand that challenge is not your enemy, but a signal that you are moving in the right direction. Every moment of struggle, every obstacle, every setback is an opportunity to reinforce your resilience, sharpen your focus, and deepen your commitment to your own path. Consistency becomes your greatest ally. Showing up is not a single heroic act. It is a habit, a discipline, a pattern of choices made over time. It is choosing to do the work when no one is applauding, when no one is noticing, and when it would be easier to quit. And it is precisely in those moments when you act without recognition, without reward, without assurance, that your character is forged. Momentum is built not through grand gestures, but through repeated, deliberate actions that demonstrate your dedication to yourself and your vision. You will face resistance, both internal and external. Your mind will doubt, fear will whisper, and the world may seem indifferent or even hostile. And yet, this is precisely the moment to act. Resistance is not a reason to stop. It is a signal that you are stepping beyond your comfort zone, that you are stretching towards something greater. Every time you confront fear with action, you reinforce your own strength. Every time you move forward despite doubt, you prove to yourself that you are capable. And over time, those moments accumulate, creating a foundation of confidence, competence, and unshakable self-trust. Showing up for yourself also means learning to prioritize your energy and time. Too often, people give away their power by allowing distractions, opinions, and external expectations to dictate their focus. They wait for guidance, for someone else to tell them what matters, or for circumstances to become easier. But the truth is, no one else has the same stakes in your life that you do. No one else feels the same urgency, the same responsibility, the same drive to create a life that matters. Recognizing this is empowering. It allows you to reclaim your time, to focus on what truly moves you forward, and to make decisions that serve your growth, not someone else's agenda. The act of showing up for yourself is transformative because it instills a sense of ownership. You begin to see that your life is not shaped by luck, chance, or circumstance. It is shaped by your choices, your actions, and your persistence. The more consistently you act, the more you take responsibility, and the more you embrace ownership, the more your life aligns with your potential. You stop being a passive observer of your own story and become the author, the leader, the architect of your future. And as you step fully into this responsibility, you start to understand the deeper purpose behind showing up. It is not only about achieving external goals, it is about becoming the person capable of sustaining those achievements. It is about building resilience, character, and self-reliance. It is about cultivating a mindset that refuses to be defined by setbacks, failures, or external expectations. Every step you take, every choice to act, strengthens your capacity to navigate life with clarity, courage, and confidence. Showing up for yourself is also contagious. When you act with intention, when you take responsibility, when you refuse to wait for rescue, you inspire those around you. People notice courage, persistence, and self-discipline. Your actions send a message that it is possible to take control of your life, to move forward despite fear, and to create results through consistent effort. You may not realize it at first, but your dedication can motivate others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of accountability and empowerment. And finally, showing up for yourself teaches you the power of choice. Every day, you are presented with the option to wait or to act, to surrender or to rise, to let life happen to you, or to take charge and make life happen. The difference between a life of frustration, regret, or dependency and a life of fulfillment, achievement, and autonomy lies entirely in that choice. The world will not pause, the circumstances will not wait, and the rescue you hope for will not arrive. But when you commit to showing up, you step into your own power, and you create a life that reflects the effort, courage, and commitment that only you can provide. The more you embrace this approach, the more you realize that showing up for yourself is not just about action, it is about identity. It is about becoming the person who faces challenges head on, who takes responsibility without excuse, who refuses to wait for rescue, and who consistently chooses growth over comfort. That identity becomes unshakable, and it is the foundation upon which every success, every breakthrough, and every meaningful achievement is built.